Hello, and thank you for stopping by this video. How much do you know about vaping? So today ADAC is going to test your knowledge about vaping or e-cigarette use with a few questions, quiz style, and we'll see how much we know and get pretty much a starting point on educating ourselves about vaping so that we can share that information with others. So before we get started, just a little bit about ADAC. ADAC Youth and Family Services is a nonprofit organization based in West Philadelphia that serves youth and families through the providing of education, information, and resources for the whole family. So a bit later on, we'll share some more information about how you can learn more about us, how you can get in contact with us, and so on. So to get into the purpose of this video, in observance of National Drug and Alcohol Facts Week, we prepared this video to spread awareness of the truth about vaping with the community to help shatter myths associated with e-cigarette use. So in this video, we're going to briefly talk about what vaping is, and we're going to test your knowledge to see how much you already know about vaping and about e-cigarettes. So first, what are e-cigarettes? So electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes are battery-powered devices that can deliver nicotine and different flavorings to the user, and these are released in the form of an aerosol. So these devices can come in very many shapes and sizes and can be used to deliver marijuana as well as other drugs. And what is vaping? Vaping is when a person inhales that aerosol from an e-cigarette. So this is often referred to as vaping. So we'll talk a bit more about what vaping is and how vape devices work. So most e-cigarettes consist of 4 components. So one being a cartridge, which holds the liquid solution, which is often referred to as e-liquid or e-juice. And this solution contains flavorings, nicotine, and other chemicals. The second component is a heating element or an atomizer. The third component is a power source, which is usually a battery. And then the fourth component is a mouthpiece that the person uses to inhale that aerosol. So in many e-cigarettes, puffing into the device is what activates the heating device. So this then vaporizes the liquid in the cartridge, and then the user then inhales that aerosol or vapor, hence the term vaping. So why are we talking about vaping today? Why is this an important topic to ADAC? And why are we focusing on this for National Drug and Alcohol Facts Week? So there are a few simple facts and a few simple reasons why we are focusing on vaping this week. So e-cigarettes are actually the most commonly used tobacco product among youth. In 2020, 3.6 million middle and high school students in the U.S. used e-cigarettes in the past 30 days, including 4.7% of middle school students and 19.6% of high school students. So this is a significant number for us to want to tackle this issue. Also in 2019, 4.5% of U.S. adults were current e-cigarette users. And then finally, the U.S. Surgeon General has called e-cigarette use an epidemic among youth. So for us, these 4 simple facts, as well as the surrounding statistics about e-cigarette use, are important reasons for us to want to focus on this topic and help educate the community in order to make an informed choice for our health. So that's why we are focusing on this topic for this video. Alrighty, so we are going to jump into our quiz, as it is quiz time. Each question you'll have about 15 to 20 seconds to read through it and figure out what your answer is. Then we'll reveal the answer to see how you did. Okay, and you don't have to be an expert in this topic. We want to see how much you know, and however much you know, that's going to be the starting point to continue educating yourself about this topic. Okay, so let's get into our first question. When a person uses an e-cigarette, what are they inhaling? Choose as many as are correct. A, various flavorings. B, water vapor. C, nicotine. D, ultrafine particles. E, an aerosol containing harmful substances. Or F, air. Okay, let's see how you did. So if you chose A, C, D, or E, then you are correct. So A, various flavorings, C, nicotine, D, ultrafine particles, and E, an aerosol containing harmful substances. Although some people will tend to believe that because it's called vaping, that it just contains water vapor, or that's what they're inhaling, that is not true. All right, so let's go to our next question. Which of the following are types of e-cigarettes? A, e-hookahs, B, jewel pods, C, vape pens, D, hookah pens, E, all of the above. And let's check your answers. So if you chose E, all of the above, then you were correct. Or if you chose any of these, then you were correct because all of the above are true. Okay. Next question. Fill in the blank. Compared to regular cigarettes, one jewel pod contains as much nicotine as blank regular cigarettes. A, 3, B, 1, C, 20, D, 10, or E, 0. Let's check your answers. So, if you chose letter C, then you were correct. One jewel pod contains as much nicotine as 20 regular cigarettes in a pack. So most e-cigarettes actually contain nicotine, which is highly addictive and can harm brain development, which continues until the age of about 25. So young people who use e-cigarettes may be more likely to become addicted to nicotine and more likely to go on to use regular cigarettes in the future. Let's move on to the next question. What do e-cigarettes look like? A, pens, B, USBs, C, regular cigarettes, D, cigars, E, everyday items, or F, all of the above and more. Let's check your answer. If you chose F, all of the above and more, then you were correct. So e-cigarettes come in many different shapes and sizes, and there are approximately 460 different brands of e-cigarettes. These can look like everyday items and can really hide in plain sight. So it's important to kind of learn more about what they can look like and be aware of what's, for example, in your youth's room, what's in their backpack, what they have around them, to be sure that it is a product that's safe for them. Because if something looks like a USB, it could possibly be a vaping device. They're definitely hiding in plain sight today. So let's move on and take a look at what some of these devices can look like. So we have some examples here of different vaping devices or e-cigarettes. And as you can see toward the bottom, there are many different shapes and sizes that can look sleek looking. They can look like traditional cigarettes. They can look like pens or other types of items as well. All right, next question. E-cigarette companies do not market their products to kids. True or false? if you chose false, then you were correct. So companies use direct and indirect advertising through social media ads, television or movie advertising, or even through social media influencers to appeal to young people who are likely to see them, young people who are in their following. So they also offer a wide variety of flavorings with fruity or candy-like profiles, which will appeal especially to kids and teens. So examples of some of these flavors can be mango, grape, Sour Patch, cookies and milk, and so many more. And these really do appeal to younger users, which is more likely to get them to buy in to using e-cigarettes and other vaping devices because they look cool, they appear cool, or because someone they follow on social media is using them and really selling the lifestyle that they might think will come with using these vaping devices. So let's move on to our last question about the health effects. So what are the effects of vaping on one's health? Choose as many as are correct. A, it improves your memory and brain function. B, vomiting. C, it helps you focus. D, increased risk of cancer. And E, breathing difficulties. Let's check your answers. So if you chose B, D, and E, or any of those, then you were correct. So B, vomiting, D, increased risk of cancer, and E, breathing difficulties are all possible effects of vaping on one's health. So how did you do? Did you get most of them right? Maybe most wrong? Did you learn anything new? So however you did, if you did really well, or if you did somewhere in the middle or not too well, this is just a starting point, as I said a bit earlier. So there's much more that we can all learn about the truth about vaping. So we encourage you to continue to do research on your own, ask questions, read labels, and talk to others about the facts that you come across. So especially your friends, family, peers, your children, your colleagues. Talk to them about the truth about vaping. Then we can move on to making the best decisions for our health based on the facts that we have learned. So with all of this information that we've been thinking about today, or maybe new information that we've acquired today, what can we do beyond this point? So there are a few things. 1, keep learning. 2, share the knowledge that you learn. And 3, you can also pledge to choose health. So ADAC is currently running a pledge, and we want the community to take part and really pledge to make an informed, healthy decision for each of us, each of our own selves. So pledging to share the knowledge with others, pledging to continue educating yourself about vaping, and pledging to make the best decision for yourself about vaping in your health. So here are the sources that we used for today, and these can even be a great resource for you to continue educating yourself about vaping and e-cigarette use. And then this is how you can get in contact with us. So if you would like to learn more about us, if you'd like to reach out to us and inquire about our programs and services, what we do at ADAC, then here's how you can find us. You can contact us via email. You can also find us on Facebook at ADAC Philly, Instagram at ADAC Philly, or YouTube at ADAC Youth and Family Services, where we share prevention information, fun activities for youth, and resources for the whole family. We would love to hear from you. So that wraps up our video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for testing your knowledge with us. And thank you for caring about getting to the bottom of vaping and how it can affect our health, especially the young ones among us who are still developing with their brains and in their bodies. So thank you so much. Stay safe, take care, and make healthy choices.